Hello, this is Carmen Davenport from Black Dollar Indie, and you have tuned in to Get the Bag Business, Assets, and Gains, where we talk to local businesses about their journeys, challenges, and successes. Today, we have with us founder and CEO of the Docs Agency, Serita Kent.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, good, good.
Good. I'm really excited to talk to you today because I don't know what you've been up to, so I'm excited to hear about what you've been doing since free business training.
Yeah, so free business training was an exciting time for me. I had just left my full-time job to put
Mm,
everything that I had into this business. I do still do something on the side, but I wanted to make sure all my energy was focused here. And what free business training did for me was kind of solidify the concept that I had for my business and help me realize that there was a need and it was feasible and it was something that I could go into full time.
So tell us, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. Tell us a little bit about who Sarita is. I really like to talk about the person behind the
Yeah.
product or service just to make sure that we're connecting with the community.
So Sarita, I feel like I'm on my third life right now. Constantly reinventing myself and changing, but little old country girl from the Boot Heel, Missouri, raised in Detroit, landed here in Indianapolis in the military
Oh, wow.
as an Army officer. Got out of the military, got married, been in accounting and finance for over 20 years,
Wow.
and then finally decided that, hey, I wanted to do some things that I was passionate about.
Okay. And then the Docs Agency,
Yeah.
right? Tell us what the Docs Agency is and then what made you decide Docs Agency and that service.
So the Docs Agency was really set up to be the one-stop source for the small to medium-sized businesses' background and screening needs. There were industries such as child daycare, home health care agency that had specific requirements for background screening. And because these were smaller startup companies, they didn't have the HR department
Mm-hmm.
or the additional
Mm-hmm.
support to make sure that they were meeting all the requirements. So Docs Agency was really born out of that. Started out really as a notary business, right? So
Okay.
it started as a notary public, and during the pandemic, the I-9 verification was really big. Companies were hiring from, remote locations, and the I-9 verification was a document that became really important when you were hiring a new hire remotely. A lot of people don't know that the I-9 form is the USCIS immigration form. And so that just kind of led to the E-Verify program for small companies and someone asking, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, sure, I can do that. And, finding out that I can do I-9 and E-Verify and, hey, can you do this? Can you do fingerprinting? It's like, sure, I can do fingerprinting. And it just kind of built and built and built until I had a full business concept.
Okay. And then so there's other companies out there,
Yeah,
right, that do some of these
yeah.
things. So tell us what makes Docs Agency more unique than some of these other vendors out here.
I can do it all in one place, especially here, locally. I had it in mind. You have companies like First Data, check systems, they do all the background pieces,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we also have smaller companies who need fingerprinting. So, of course, if you need fingerprinting, you have to go to someone who offers fingerprinting, which is usually Pac Mill or I don't even know if the state police, I saw something that they were
Yeah.
discontinuing doing fingerprinting. And then came along with the medical testing. So some people need DOT,
Physicals.
physicals,
Yeah.
drug testing, TB testing. And it's like, what if I could bring that all into a single location, or at minimum, help these small business coordinate getting these tasks completed, leading to quicker turnaround in hiring and onboarding and having that employee start sooner. So,
Okay. I,
yeah.
I love that. So one stop shop prevents me from having to go to 4 different places to
Yes,
get all these things done. We
yeah,
can just call the Docs Agency and you'll take care of all of it.
that is it.
I love that. And who is your target audience? Like, who are you catering to the most, right?
So it's really interesting, and it's kind of evolved since I went through the free business training. When I created the Docs Agency, as I mentioned, I had the home healthcare agencies and child daycare, early learning centers. Those were the businesses that I had in mind. I had a really unique opportunity to partner with the company Verified First.
Mm.
Yes, which allowed me to automate a lot of the processes and a lot of the systems that was using to process the background checks. The one thing that Verified First didn't offer was the fingerprinting. So once again, setting me apart. Verified First has really allowed me to expand industries because with child care and home healthcare agency, I was pretty much running the same checks.
Yeah.
So now that I have, access to a broader market, I can go after warehouses, I can go after manufacturers, I can go after some of the larger companies, transportation companies that I couldn't because I was
Wow.
one
Got
person
you.
doing everything on my
Got
own.
you. Okay. And I was going to ask, what are some of the challenges
Yeah.
that you've had tapping into resources and partnerships and different things like that?
For me, it's really finding the right person to talk to. Initially I would think that it would be the HR person, which,
Hmm.
yes, that's the gateway, and you get a lot of information about, what that organization's needs are. Are they doing background screenings, which was something else that I found out. A lot of organizations were not performing background screenings on all of their
Really?
employees. But it's really the procurement department that,
Okay.
if they do have a procurement department that contracts and things like that go through. And now that's kind of where I set my focus. I don't want to remove my focus from the little man, but just looking at ways to evolve my business.
Edna Martin Christian Center presents the 2025 Entrepreneurship Showcase, May 10th from 11 to 4 at the Frederick Douglass Park Family Center, 1616 East 25th Street. Multiple vendors selling products and services, food, fun, music, and networking. Did I mention free? Yes, it's free for the entire family. So come out and support May 10th from 11 to 4 at the Frederick Douglass Park Family Center. Sponsored by IAAQLI. How important is marketing and networking in your industry?
Oh, wow. Extremely important. Word of mouth, um, understanding that I am the brand and nobody presents my company better than I
Oh,
can.
wow. Okay.
And so really just sharing, the depth of what we do, how we help people. Been, engaged in social media. I've done a lot of networking and just showing up to as many places as I can and talking about, what I do. Still getting a feel for the Google sites and ads and things like that. But what's worked well for me is just the word of mouth, getting out, networking, and doing as much as I can.
Great, great. And how do you define success? What does that look like for the Docs Agency?
So success for the Docs Agency really just means meeting the needs of that client and making sure that they are happy with the service that we provide, because that client is going to go tell someone else or refer me to someone
Absolutely.
else.
Absolutely.
And that for me is the best marketing strategy.
If we could look 5 years down the line for the Docs Agency, what does that look like for you?
The Docs Agency 5 years down the line. I think that may mean having offices in multiple regions.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
originally from Missouri, as I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
raised in Detroit, another prime ground for small to medium-sized businesses that are growing. So really having a presence and expanding my wings there. Right now, the hot topic, immigration and work authorizations.
Absolutely. Yep.
So being able to add more of that into what we do as we deal with warehouses and manufacturers who, hire a lot of immigrants and non-immigrant workers, and making sure they are compliant. So that's, 5 years down the line, being well versed in those two areas and expanding.
If we had, and you have such a unique industry, but if you had others out there that were interested in getting started in maybe even a portion of what you do, maybe just the fingerprinting or maybe just some of those other things, what advice could you give them in terms of just getting started?
Talk to as many people as you can. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If there is someone who has done it before, not being afraid to approach them and ask them how they did it. And then really being flexible and willing to change and pivot if your initial idea isn't working the way that you wanted it to work. And there's strength in numbers. So, you don't have to
Absolutely.
be a gatekeeper or feel like I'm going to corner this industry and I'm going to be the only one here, because I've found so much value in having resources in other HR professionals as well.
And we always end this by asking, what's in your bag? So, what do you think is your greatest asset or gain since you've been on this journey?
My greatest gain, I would say, just the people I've connected with. You know, I consider myself an extreme introvert. So
Really?
yes, so
Extreme?
extreme.
And
Like,
what was your position in the military?
look, I was a logistics officer. So yep, I was command of a force support company.
Wow.
So
Okay.
so yeah, so after this podcast, I'm probably gonna go and crash.
It just takes everything out of
Yeah,
you, right?
yeah, it does. But that, you know, understanding that I need to build that network has really helped me come out of that shell a little bit.
Mhm.
And like I say, just the people, the connections that I've made, the people who are willing to help and come alongside me and guide me, the resources that I found, even beginning with the free business program. Um, Chanel over at Martindale Brightwood, Indie Black Chamber, worked with Leland Baptiste over there as
Mhm.
well. Those resources are, I mean, you just can't put a price on that.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that. Now, tell everybody how, because we want all the organizations who need these type of
Yeah.
services to contact you. Again, it's a unique industry. You don't meet many people
Yeah.
that do what you do.
Yeah.
So we want all the companies, the manufacturers, we want everybody who needs those type of services to contact you. How can they do that?
So they can visit our website at www.docsagencyllc.com. Also call directly 317-434-0345. And then I'm on LinkedIn, so you can find Serita Kent on LinkedIn. We also have the Docs Agency page on LinkedIn.
Well, thank you so much for coming by. We hope that you, if it's not too much, we hope that you can come by again and see us.
Always, always.
Well, you guys have heard it here. This is Serita Kent from the Docs Agency, y'all. You have tuned in to Get the Bag, Business Assets and Gains, where success is in your bag.